Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Couch Warrior podcast. I'm your host, Mike, and sorry about that little cough in the beginning for anybody tuning in who might get shocked by that. But all right, hey guys, what's up? Hope everybody's doing great. We got UFC coming up in less than a half hour, about 25 minutes. Knowing them, though, they're probably going to start a little late, maybe 7:15, maybe 7:30 Eastern time. Who knows? It is a long card, 14 fights starting late, so maybe they're going to just move quick. So we'll try to move fast through this card and get right out of here. There's some fights that we really don't need to spend all that much time on. And then there's some fights I'd like to talk about for as long as I could. I was going to do this show tomorrow, Sunday, but I'm going to be busy tomorrow. Today works out better. Got this little slot of time open, so we're going to run through it real quick. And hopefully we can get some good spots. We did pretty well in the last Bellator card. I think we profited just over 7 units. I think we're going to have less action here. Not as many spots that I like. Maybe we'll see once props come out. But right now, there's not a lot of stuff that I'm playing. I'll actually pull up my plays as well because I don't even remember what I've played so far. Let me just get that ready real quick as well. All right, yeah, we just got 2 money line plays so far and one other one that I still need to track. But all right, so for this first fight, we've got Lucas Brennan versus Miley. Now, this is a late edition. Lucas Brennan was supposed to fight on the last Bellator card. Didn't work out. I think it was his opponent who dropped out. So now we get this fight instead. Lucas Brennan is 7-0, undefeated as a pro. Sorry. He's 22 years old, 5'10" with a 71-inch reach, and he trains under his father. I'm not exactly sure if that's the correct gym name right there. Dre on the other side is 10-6-0. He's 31 years old. 5'9", training out of Knoxville MMA. And look, this is it's you can't really do anything here. There's very little tape on Dre. If you're able to find more of his fights, then maybe you can make a move here on Brennan. I don't know if I'm going to get there just because the only clip I saw was like a short video of him getting finished. So there's really not much on Dre. I know Lucas is good. I know his grappling is elite. That's his thing. He's got 5 sub wins of 7 wins as a pro. The other one was a KO, and the one other than that was a decision. So look, Brennan should run through him. It's probably Brennan ITD. It's probably Brennan sub. Can you really bet it? No, we don't know who Dre is, and there's very little tape. Let's see how it plays out. Let's see what the props open at and what the line opens at, because there's no line for this fight either yet. It was a late ad, but we'll see what happens. I like Brennan, obviously, but you can't really feel confident without knowing his opponent. All right, for the next fight, we've got Denise Kielholtz versus Ilara Joanne. Now, Kielholtz is 6'4-0. She's 33 years old, 5'3" with a 66-inch reach. And for her camp, I'm not sure. We're going to be going with Tapology, Team Schreiber. Joanne on the other side is 10-6-0. She's 28, 5 years younger. 5'3". She's the same height, 64-inch reach. She's got a 2-inch reach disadvantage. And this one is really funky, honestly. I think it's going to be close. I don't know that Kielholtz should be such a wide favorite. She's like -170, -180, I think. I'll check right now for you guys. So she is -170. Come back on Joanne is +140. And look, Kielholtz is definitely the better striker here. Joanne is probably the better grappler. I actually kind of liked what I saw from Joanne in terms of the wrestling. Good trips. The head and arm throw, I don't love when fighters go for that. It's a low-level move, but if it works, it works. Her back take, I really liked her back take. I noted that. I thought it was very slick. I thought that was very impressive. And the transitions on the ground in general are impressive. She does train with the Pitbull brothers. I think I missed that. And you can kind of tell from the way she fights, she's just not as good of a striker as they are. Her striking is pretty trash. Wings her strikes a lot. She's very hittable. Whereas you look at Kielholtz, and Kielholtz is a pretty good striker. She keeps it tight for the most part. She does throw a lot of wingy strikes and a lot of hooks, but it's because she's normally a lot smaller than her opponents, Juliana, Velasquez, for example. And that's not going to be the case here with Joanne. On the other side, though, Joanne, probably her best path to victory here is the grappling, maybe getting a sub. And you look at Kielholtz, she got 3 submission losses, right? But the last one was to Watanabe. I think she's like 11-1-0. She's much bigger than Joanne is, and I would assume much stronger, and she seems to be an even better grappler. So do I think that Ilara Joanne can find grappling success here? Some. Do I think it's going to be enough to win the fight? I'm not sure. I'm concerned about her striking defense. I don't like it. She's very hittable, and Kielholtz hits like a train. So I don't think I'm going to take a side here just because I don't like the line on Kielholtz, and I don't want to bet Joanne. But I am going to look at the fight doesn't go the distance or an under. I don't know what they're going to give it to us at, but it's a women's flyweight fight. So I imagine that it's going to be, minus 250 on the over 2.5 or something like that. Maybe we can get a decent line on the under 2.5. I would play that one. I think there's a good opportunity for a finish on either side here, whether it's a submission on Joanne or a Kielholtz for KO for Kielholtz. But we'll move on. The lean is Denise Kielholtz. The play is probably going to be an under 2.5. All right. This next fight, I'm hyped for this one. We've got Kyle Crutchmer versus Jalil Willis. Crutchmer is 9-1-0. He's 29 years old, 5'9" with a 68-inch reach, and he trains out of AKA. Jalil Willis on the other side, he's 15-4-0, 30 years old. He's 1 year older, 5'11". He's 2 inches taller. He's got a 75-inch reach, so he does have a 7-inch reach advantage. And he no longer trains at Memphis BJJ. He now trains at Sanford MMA, my favorite camp. Kill Cliff, whatever. I like Sanford still. And this one's really interesting. I mean, I've backed Willis quite a bit. He's made me some good money. His last 2 performances weren't good, and I think that's why it's so wide here because, he gets submitted by Homasi, which is not a good look. But, that wasn't a takedown. It's not like Saba took him down. He gave up a stupid move. He, went for, a spinning elbow, and then Homasi was able to take his back off of the spin. So it wasn't a takedown. It was just poor fight IQ, which is still problematic, right? But just to point out, he's not that bad of a grappler, in my opinion. And also, again, against Magomed Berhamov, he was the one who got the first takedown. It wasn't just a clean takedown. He used kind of the pressure of just moving forward and catching Magomed Berhamov off guard. But it was impressive. He ended up getting caught with the guillotine, and that's how he lost. I just don't think necessarily Crutchmer is going to submit him. Crutchmer's got 3 sub wins, right? And I wanted to point this out. So his last sub was in 2020. He submitted Scott Futrell, who's 11-9-0 at the time, hasn't fought since, is not a good fighter. Before that, his only other 2 submission wins came in his first and second pro fights, right? Both guys have losing records since. Jalil Willis has only been subbed those 2 times we just spoke about by Saba Homasi and Magomed Berhamov. The Berhamov fight I could forgive. The Homasi fight, in my opinion, that was bad fight IQ. Not forgivable. Something we have to consider, but I don't necessarily think it means he should be plus 200 here. Now, Crutchmer on the other side, right? He's been very dominant when he can get his wrestling off. We've seen him lose 1 time and 1 time only. It was in Bellator, and he lost to someone I love, Kimran Lachanov, the Ultimate Fighter season. I want to say it was season 29 contestant. Love the guy. He's a psychopath. He's that dude who took shots and was just screaming at Crutchmer back in the 3rd round, just yelling at him to hit him more and then just rocking him back. It was a crazy fight, but the important thing to take from it was that Crutchmer couldn't get his takedowns going, couldn't get his wrestling going, and he lost the striking exchanges because his striking is very, very, very meat and potatoes. It's just it's basic. It's very clear that he's been spending his time training the striking because he already had the wrestling base, but it's very basic in my opinion. Maybe not basic, right? I just mean he sticks to the fundamentals. Whereas Willis, I think, is a better striker. I think he's more technical. He can strike longer. I mean, he has a 7-inch reach advantage, right? That's already an edge but he uses that reach. He's one of these guys who will actually use his length. I really like the 1-2, the combos. I like that he throws a lot more straight than Crutchmer. And I just feel that if he can keep this fight on the feet, he does have a wrestling background. It's nothing like Crutchmer's. Jalil Willis wrestled in high school. Crutchmer was an NCAA Division I All-American and placed 5th and 7th in the tournament. So we're talking about completely different levels of wrestling. And it is entirely possible that Crutchmer gets him down, controls him there. I don't think he finishes Willis, but I think he can control him. I want to play Willis. I think that's the way I'm going to go. He's plus 210 on BetOnline, plus 235 on DraftKings. I'm going to wait until after tonight's card. I already have him written down on my list. Actually, I don't. I'm going to add him right now. It's important to keep a list for yourself because it's so easy to forget even spots you were looking at, as stupid as that sounds. I have a whole bulletin board behind you guys that I keep all my bets on. But all right. So, yeah, I like Willis. We're going to play Willis here for a half unit at whatever it ends up being. It's plus 210 BetOnline, like I said, plus 235 on DraftKings. I'm probably going to play it on DraftKings. And, yeah, I like it. I think Willis can lose. He can be out grappled here, but I think that he's got the striking edge. He's got enough wrestling to be able to use it defensively, and I think he can win this fight. I do like him here. He's a lot bigger. Let's go, Willis. All right, and we're going to move on to, honestly, it's one of the only squash matches we have on this card. There's only like 2-3 of them, like not as many as last card. Like the last Bellator card, we made most of our units just making a round robin with like 7 squash matches, you know. Sometimes that's risky. Paid off last time. We're not going to have that opportunity here, unfortunately. But I do think Downey's going to dominate. We got Patrick Downey versus Christian Echols. Downey's 1-0, undefeated as a pro. He's 30 years old, 6'2" with a 73-inch reach, and he trains at Gladiator Sports Fitness MMA, as far as I could tell. On the other side, you got Christian Echols. He's 2-0, 24 years old. He's 6 years younger, 5'10". He's 4 inches shorter. I don't have a reach for him, and he trains at Tupelo Jiu-Jitsu Academy. And look, I mean, Downey's what? I think he's like Downey's minus 1,500. Comeback on Echols is plus 750 on Bet Online, plus 900 on DraftKings. And I don't know, man. It's weird. Like, Downey is an NCAA All-American. He's a very high-level wrestler. But he's only had one pro fight. We haven't gotten much of a taste for his striking at all, even though it looked okay. So can I back him at minus 1,500? Hell no. Can I do something with him inside the distance? We don't have props yet, but I'll bet money that it's going to be unplayable. Now, is there a play open on Christian Echols? I don't think so either. I mean, look, there's some possible angles you could try to make, right? Like you could say, okay, he's a BJJ brown belt. All right. 6 years younger. All right. He's got a little bit more experience. He's got 5 amateur fights. He went 3-2-0. All right. What's his strength? It's wrestling. And that's kind of a problem, right? I feel like you would think that if they want Downey to get an easy win, they'd give him a striker, right? But really, what is it? What's even easier than that? Give him somebody whose specialty is also wrestling, but they're just way worse of a wrestler than you. Because then they don't have a striking edge. They don't have a wrestling edge. They don't have any damn edge. And that's kind of what they gave him here. They gave him a guy in Christian Echols who's got all his victories via grappling. Two sub wins and 2 pro wins. Now, the back take was nice, but both guys were awful. I mean, both guys were awful. Both submissions were in under a minute. But we're talking about guys with records of 1-2-0 and 2-6-0. So, you know, what can you make of it? I'm not going to spend much time beating a dead horse. It should be Patrick Downey. I don't think it's worth playing here. We'll see what they open the props up at, but this is probably going to be untouchable. Just watch Downey catch body, and that's it. All right. For this next fight, we've got Randi Field versus Kristina Katsikis. Randi Field is 3-1-0. She's 5'3" with a 62-inch reach. She's 32 years old. Skipped that by accident. And she's training out of Maximum Training Center. On the other side, we've got Katsikis. She's 1-2-0. 31 years old, 5'4" with a 63-inch reach. She's got a 1-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach advantage. And she's 1 year younger. And she is training out of South Shore Sport Fighting. Okay, so I was hyped to talk about this fight because Katsikis, yo, no disrespect to any fighters, but she has some of the worst striking I have ever seen. I wrote in my notes, she has Ben Askren striking. And that's really all I need to say. She strikes like Ben Askren. She's a grapple-heavy fighter. She was able to take down Inaba and control her for 2 minutes. It's pretty impressive. Inaba's good. You know, she's unexperienced, but she's good. But when I saw Katsikis striking, I couldn't believe it. I don't have a good read on the takedown defense on Field because she got taken down by Inaba and controlled, but it's Inaba, like I mentioned, she's good. But she also got taken down by Mayara Miller in the first round and got controlled. She did end up winning that fight, but not the best look. So can Kristina Katsikis get some takedown, some control time? Yeah, probably. Can she win this fight? I really don't think so. Her striking is abysmal. All Randi Field has to do is keep it on the feet, and it won't even be close. So I'm on Randi Field here. I have to think that she's going to win this fight. I don't think it's really playable. She's, what is it? She's minus 260, minus 250. Like, you can't play that because it's still low level. She's only got 4 pro fights, you know? Who knows? Maybe Kristina comes in here with a little bit of improved striking, just enough to set up that wrestling. And it could be enough, you know? So I wouldn't suggest playing this fight at all. But I do think it's going to be Randi Field, and we're going to move on to the next fight. All right. I kind of think this is going to be a squash match, but odds aren't nearly as wide as the Downey fight. We've got Kevin Boehm versus Kai Kamaka III. Boehm is 9-5-0. He's 28 years old, 5'11" with the 70-inch reach. And I've got him training out of American Top Team Portland. On the other side, you've got Kai Kamaka III. He's 9-5-1, 27 years old. He's 1 year younger here. He's 5'7". He's given up 4 inches in height, 68-inch reach. He's given up 2 inches in reach, and he trains out of Extreme Couture. Honestly, I'm surprised that the line's not wider. I think Kai Kamaka should have never been cut from the UFC, period. All of his performances were pretty good. He should have won the last one. I believe it was Chavez. I don't understand this one bit. I mean, where is Boehm better here at all? Where? He's not better anywhere. He's extremely hittable. He's not a good striker. Kai is going to spark him on the feet. He can be out-grappled. Kai's shown good wrestling. Boehm's been submitted twice. I mean, other than the size advantage, he doesn't really have anything going for him. So I'm not going to waste time here. I think that this is Kai Kamaka all day long. Now, I tracked this at Kai minus 325 for 2.4 units. I played it at minus 240 for 2.4 units. Now, I couldn't track it because you're on Bet MMA, you're not allowed to track unless the line is available, like it's open at. So, like, if I'm going to go and track right now, Kai Kamaka, right? That line, I mean, that fight has to already be available on the Bet MMA website. If it's not, I can't track it at that line. I have to wait until it opens up on the website so I could track it at whatever line's open at that time. So that's what the minus 325 was. I think you can still play it. I don't like numbers like that, but you can parlay it. I'm very confident in Kai Kamaka. You know, anything can happen. It's MMA. I'll never use that L word, but I think that Kai is very... And I was going to say live. He's the heavy favorite. I think Kai should win this dominantly. I'm probably going to play his ITD prop as well. And we're going to move on to the next fight. Here we've got Cass Bell versus Jared Scoggins. Bell is 5'2-0. He's 35 years old, 5'10" with the 67-inch reach. And I've got him training out of Institute of Combat. Scoggins on the other side, he's 10-2-0, 27 years old, 5'7". So he's given up 3 inches in height. He's got a 69-inch reach. So he's got a 2-inch reach advantage. And he's training out of Revolution MMA. So the odds would indicate another squash match. You got Scoggins at minus 550. Cass Bell at plus 400. Scoggins just had that fight with, I think his name was Josh Hill. Sorry. Against Josh Hill. And I believe he got knocked out in the second round in an okay fight. Didn't really show that much, greatness in that fight. I'm not sure why he's minus 500, but he does have good wrestling. That's probably why. I don't like his karate stance, but it seems to work for him. He's got 4 knockout wins. Does have good striking. I just really don't like the karate stuff all that much. Wonderboy Thompson fighting later tonight. That's a different story, but he's no Stephen Wonderboy, and I don't love it. He keeps his hands down. Chin up. I think he could be knocked out. I don't think it's going to be Cass Bell to do it. Cass has 1 knockout win, 3 sub wins. He really succeeds in chaos, but he's never beat anybody good at all. Whereas Scoggins, he's got a win over Durden. He's got a win over Juan Puerta, who's a Dana White Contender Series vet. Also was fighting in LFA a few weeks ago or like 2 months ago against Yuma Horiyuchi. Was winning that fight till he got caught and finished. I think it was a sub. I think this should be Scoggins easy. I don't like the line, though. I don't think I'm going to end up playing it. I think that maybe I'll look at the over 1.5 if that's what they give us for a line. Maybe they think it's a squash match because it's like minus 500 on Scoggins. So they're like, all right, let's do the under over set at 1.5. If they do that, we're going to be hype. That's what we're going to play. But other than that, look, it should be Scoggins, but I can't tell you how he wins. And I don't think it's going to be all that dominant. So I just don't want to touch it. I mean, it could be dominant. I just don't want to touch it, really. So we're going to move on to the next one. And this is a fight that I actually am going to be putting money down on soon. Once again, just waiting on the line to set there. But we can go ahead and break it down. So for this fight, we've got Mark Lemminger versus Michael Lombardo. Now, Lemminger is 12-5-0. He's 29 years old, 6 feet tall with a 70-inch reach, and he trains out of Chosen Few Gym. Lombardo on the other side, he's 12-3-0, 32 years old. He's 3 years older, 6 feet tall with a 72-inch reach. Got a 2-inch reach advantage. And he trains out of American Top Team. So this one's really close. And it opened up as a pick'em, which I thought was the correct move. And now it's minus 145 Lemminger. It's plus 115 on Lombardo. And look, I think this couldn't be more of a 50-50 fight. I think it's such a well-matched fight. You're getting two guys who are just so similar. Both guys with wrestling backgrounds, but neither one high-level wrestling backgrounds. Just high school, I'm pretty sure, for both of them. I think Lombardo might have had some kind of college experience, but I actually don't think so. Look, Lombardo, in his only Bellator fight, got out-grappled by Crutchmer. I think there's a tremendous difference in grappling between Lemminger and Crutchmer. Lemminger was taken down by Enkamp, a karate guy with good wrestling and grappling, yeah, but a karate guy. He got caught in a buggy choke, whatever. You can't prepare for that kind of thing sometimes, but he got out-grappled. DeMarcus Johnson also took him down. Got some good ground control, even though he ended up losing that fight. My point is, Lemminger is a good wrestler, but he's no Kyle Crutchmer. And that's what it took to take Lombardo down and control him. And even then, like, Lombardo had some success getting out of there. So, like, being able to stand up. I kind of like Lombardo. He's got a 2-inch reach advantage. He's also training out of a really good camp. He's at American Top Team. Chosen few, they're pretty good, but there's less bodies there. You have Alex Polizzi. You got Mark Lemminger. And I'm sure there's a few other guys in there who are good, but you have a limited gym. Whereas Lombardo's an American Top Team. He's fought in the Contender Series. He's now fought in PFL. Now he's also fought in Bellator. I think he's ready for this. I think he can win this fight. I think he's probably got a slight grappling edge because he can go from top or bottom. He can work from bottom as well. He's shown good scrambling ability from there. And in terms of the striking, I just think he throws a little bit more straight, a little cleaner. Lemminger, he kind of hooks everything a little bit. Everything's got a little bit of a loop to it. The 1-2 is pretty good, but I just don't like all the curviness. Like, even his jab comes in as more of a hook than a jab. So I just don't love the striking. And it's not like Lombardo's an elite striker either. I just like his better. I think it's more straight, more down the pipe. And that's what I really look for. Who's going to hit that target first if they throw at the same time? And I think that it's going to be Michael Lombardo. Not necessarily because he's faster, but because he's got a reach advantage. And he's going to throw straight, whereas Mark's going to throw like this. So I like Michael Lombardo here. I am going to play him for 1 unit, but we're going to wait for the line to settle down because so far, people are liking Mark and betting him down. So, all right. So for this next one, I've actually got a bet as well, and I haven't been able to track it yet. I'm waiting for the line to settle, so maybe I can put it in, but we'll have to see. We've got Cody Law versus Cris Lencioni. Now, Cody Law is 6-1-0, 27 years old, 5'9" with a 69-inch reach, and I've got him training at American Top Team. On the other side, you've got Lencioni. He's 9-3-0, 28 years old, 5'10". He's got a 1-inch height advantage. He's 1 year older. He's got a 71-inch reach. So he's got a 2-inch reach advantage, and I've got him training out of Warrior Camp, which is a really good camp over in Washington. We got guys like Terrence McKinney, Michael Chiesa training over there. So it's a good camp, good wrestling. And that's kind of the thing here. So the line surprised me, right? Because I think that if Cody Law didn't have that loss in his last fight, this would be like minus 600 him. Because that's how it always was. He was like minus 1,800 in his last fight. And he lost, yes. But first of all, I think that was a bad decision. I feel like at worst, that was a draw. Cody Law, in my eyes, won 1 and he won 2. And then the third round, maybe it was a 10-8. So if you gave it a 10-8, you can make it a draw. How Cody Law lost by unanimous decision, I don't know. And I just think that because of that, we're getting a buy low spot. And it's reminding me a lot of Isaiah Hokett, where people didn't want to play him because they couldn't get it out of their head, where he got hyped up, comes in for his debut and gets knocked the hell out. That is somebody he should have cleaned up on, right? No one ever forgot about it. And then his third fight, he was like a minus 2-something favorite in a fight he should have been minus 400 or 500. People doubted him. I think the same thing's happening here. I don't understand where Lencioni's really going to beat Cody Law. Can he tire him out, make him work, and then maybe do the same thing in round 3 as Cody Law's last opponent? He could. He's got decent wrestling, decent grappling. That's his thing, really. He's got 5 submission wins. never knocked out anybody. But here's the thing. What if he can't take down Law? If his strength, like I mentioned before in the Downey fight, if his strength is grappling, but he's fighting a guy who's an NCAA Division II champion, wrestled for Penn State, I believe, which confuses me because Penn State is a Division I school, and I'm confused by that. So if anyone knows and can write that in the comments, let me know. But he has the wrestling background, that much I understand, and I've seen it in action. I don't think that Lencioni is going to be taking him down, even though we haven't really seen Law tested all that much. He did get tested in his last fight, but I think he's going to survive any grappling attacks from Lencioni. And the striking, I think it's Law all day. He's the only one throwing straight. He's the only one putting together clean combos. He's got 4 knockout wins over bad competition, but he does what he has to do. I like Cody Law here. I played him for minus 240 for 2.4 units. He's now minus 285. I'm going to wait and see how low it gets so I could track it at whatever it's at, get as close to that minus 240 number. But I think you can play him at anything under minus 300. Even then, you can parlay him, I think. I probably will. So I like Cody Law here, and we're going to move on to the next fight. All right, here we've got Dalton Rosta versus Anthony Adams. Now, Rosta is 7-0, undefeated as a pro, 27 years old, 6 feet tall with a 74-inch reach, and he trains out of Matt Factory Wrestling Club, which I don't think is correct. No, he trains out of American Top Team. Adams on the other side is 9-2-0. He's 34 years old, 7 years older, 6'1" with a 1-inch height advantage, 76-inch reach with a 2-inch reach advantage, and he's training out of Elevation Fight Team. So it's already 7, and the fights are going to start soon for UFC. I'm going to try to pick it up a little bit. We've only got 4 fights left, but there's not much to talk about here, in my opinion. Anthony Adams, shocked a lot of people in this last fight where he fought Khalid Murtazaliev, was like a plus 400 or so underdog. And, he came in and he ended up winning that fight. It was close. I wasn't convinced that Adams won it, but, he looked good. He did get taken down. Did okay defending, but like in his Dana White Contender Series fight, like he got taken down 3 times by Impa. So I do think you can take him down. And Dalton Rosta is a high-level wrestler. Not like the other fellas on the card. He just has a state wrestling background, but he looks clean. And he fought Romero Cotton, someone who does have a high-level wrestling background, and a 4-time D2 All-American we're talking about in Cotton. And he took him down. He took Cotton down, and he defended against his takedown. So Where is Adams going to win here? Is he going to take Rosta down? No. Is he going to outstrike Rosta? He could. Rosta's still super green. Hasn't really fought. I mean, I can't say he hasn't fought anyone good. I would say he's starting to fight good guys. And his last few opponents, I think, would be competitive with Anthony Adams. So I can't say that he's fought bad competition lately. Anthony Adams probably slightly better. But look, Adams is pretty meat and potatoes. He is. He's got a good output. Good striker. He can pull it off against the guy who's not throwing much like Khalid Murtazaliev, but I think Rosta's going to throw. I think Rosta's going to work. I think he's going to create angles like he's been doing, and I don't think he gets a finish necessarily. I think he probably wins a decision, so that's what I'm going to look for because I think that the books are going to be like, all right, we have him as minus 800, should obviously win this fight. Let's set his inside the distance prop at something like deep minus 200, and then by decision, it's like plus 300. I'm going to play that. I think Rosta can win this by decision. So we'll see what that prop is. But I'm going to play that one because I think that it's Rosta all day here. But I don't think that he's going to finish Anthony Adams. So we're going to move on. So we got 3 fights left. And this is the first one of our Bantamweight Grand Prix semifinals. So for this fight, let me move it up. We've got Magomedov versus Patchy Mix. Magomedov is 9-2-0, 30 years old, 5'7" with a 69-inch reach, and he's training out of Dag Fighter as far as I could tell. Patchy Mix on the other side, he's 16-1-0, 29 years old, he's 1 year younger, 5'11", he's 4 inches taller. He's got a 2-inch reach advantage at 72-inch reach and 3-inch reach advantage, and he's training out of Extreme Couture. And also, this is a Southpaw versus Orthodox matchup. Mix is a Southpaw, and Magomedov is an Orthodox. So we've got 2 studs here with similar styles, and I am so hyped for this fight. Magomedov has only lost to Raufeon Stotts and Peter Yan, and Patchy Mix has only lost to Juan Archuleta. So both guys have only lost to the best of the best. They're fighting the best of the best in this fight, and I'm just very hype. I think that the line was accurate when it opened. I believe that it opened at a pick'em. Minus 120 Magomedov, and the comeback was minus 110 on Patchy Mix. I think that was the correct line, but I'm not going to complain on getting better money on Patchy. Look, both guys are really good wrestlers. Both guys have really good grappling, but Mix just kind of stands out for me. He really does. Like, he took down Kyoji Horiguchi, took his back multiple times. It's just not easy to do that, and it was very impressive. Archuleta, also, Mix took him down. You know, he found some success. He did end up losing that fight, and getting taken down himself, but he did find success in the grappling. He's got 11 submission wins. Nasty BJJ. The back takes are nasty. He doesn't even have to take you down. He can do it right off the fence, standing up. Just very, very clean. Like, I really like what I see from Mix. Like, all around, just a really good fighter, really good wrestler, really good BJJ. The striking leaves some things to be desired. It could be better. The output could be better. It wasn't great against Horiguchi, but Horiguchi moves a lot. Against Juan, it wasn't that much better, but it was improving. Magomedov, I mean, what can you say? He's elite. He's an elite wrestler, but we've seen him stifled twice now in the grappling department. First by Raufeon Stotts, and then he got stifled by Barzola in a fight that he was losing pretty clearly, in my opinion, until he got that guillotine win. So, for me, this fight really just comes down to two things. Who's got the better striking? And who's going to win the grappling exchanges that we do get? And I think it's going to be Mix. I like Patchy Mix here. I think he can pull this victory off. I think he's a better striker by a little bit. And he's got that length, that reach to kind of help him out there. And I think the wrestling's going to end up going to him. Like, I understand Magomedov. That's a scary name for wrestling. You would think he's going to be the better wrestler. But I have an inkling that I think Patchy Mix is going to give him a hard time with the grappling, take his back maybe a few times. So I'm going to look at Patchy Mix here. Maybe an over. We'll see what the lines look like for that. But I'm on Patchy Mix here. I actually already played him at plus 115 for 1 unit. And I think he can grind out a decision here using his grappling. And we're going to move on. 2 more fights. Trying to get us out of here for the UFC fights. I don't know if they started yet or not. Check real quick. Oh, fuck. Okay. Yeah. So the fight started already for UFC. So I'm going to pick it up. We've got Liz Carmouche versus Juliana Velasquez 2. Carmouche is 17-7-0, 38 years old, 5'6" with a 66-inch reach. And I've got her training out of Violent Hippie. I think it's her own gym she just opened up. On the other side, you've got Juliana Velasquez. She's 12-1-0, 36 years old, 5'6" as well, 68-inch reach. Got a 2-inch reach advantage. Team Nogueira for her. And I don't know. When I first saw this line, I was like, what's happening? Carmouche won. She got a finish. But then I watched the fight back, and it's like, first off, that was such an early stoppage. Like, I don't know what was going on there. The round was almost over. She wasn't landing anything too damaging. I don't know what happened there. And I don't know. I was watching the fight, and I think her striking is so much better than Liz Carmouche's. And, like, she's younger. She's going to be improving. Like, it's her first ever loss. She's going to learn from that. We've seen that time and time again. I think it's going to be Velasquez this time. I think she's a better striker, and I think she can keep it on the feet this time around. She even found some of her own wrestling success in the last fight with some trips. So I wouldn't count her out there either. I think it's going to be Velasquez. I don't think I'm going to play her minus 185 against somebody she just lost to, but I do think it should be Velasquez there. And we're going to move on to our final fight of the night. Here we've got Raufeon Stotts versus Danny Sabatello. Stotts is 18-1-0, 33 years old, 5'7" with a 73-inch reach. And he does train out of Rufus Sport MMA. On the other side, you've got Danny Sabatello, 13-1-0, 29 years old. He's 2 years younger. 4 years younger. 5'10", 3 inches taller. And he's got a 70-inch reach, so he's giving up 3 inches in reach. And he's training out of American Top Team. This fight is so good. I'm so excited for this fight. It's one of the fights I'm most hyped for outside of the UFC. And it's really close on the line, and I think it's rightfully so. It opened up at minus 115 at a pick'em. I think maybe that's a little bit incorrect. I think maybe Stotts should have opened up a slight favorite, minus 120. But I understand it. I just think it's going to be Stotts here. For me, it really comes down to this. Both guys grapple heavy approaches. Sabatello wrestle. But I don't know. To me, it seems like Stotts is going to be able to stifle that. He was able to out-wrestle Magomedov. He did get taken down by Archuleta and controlled a little bit, but I think he's got really good wrestling of his own. Now, if you look at their backgrounds in wrestling, it does go to Sabatello. Wrestled for Purdue, 3-time NCAA championship qualifier in D1, 2-time 141-pound Big Ten championships place winner. And on the other side for Stotts, it's 2-time Division II NCAA champion. So which one means more? I can't tell you. I don't have a specialty there. I did wrestle, but it was in high school. I just think that the better striker is Stotts by a margin. And because of that, I have to go with him because I think the wrestling is going to be close. So then to me, the question is who's going to be winning on the feet? And I think that person is going to be Raufeon Stotts. I don't want to play him at minus 160 where it's at now. But money seems to be coming in on Sabatello. So I'm just going to wait. And I'm going to end up playing Raufeon Stotts money line probably. But all right, that's it, guys. That's Bellator 289. We've only got 2 official spots right now. Technically 3. Patchy mix plus 115, one unit. Kamaka tracked it at minus 325 for 2.4 units. And Cody Law got it at minus 240. We'll track it at whatever the line ends up coming down to. Right now, it's at minus 285. Thank you guys for tuning in. Good luck with UFC. I hope you guys all cash your bets and have a good one.